All right, we'll go ahead and get started with questions if you're ready.
Sure.
All right. First up, Evan Barnes.
Anthony, you've seen Damian up close. How much tougher is it going to be guarding this version of him, where he's just been kind of on fire these last few games in the bubble?
It's a team effort. He's the type of guy that it's not a one-on-one matchup. It's all of us being aware of where he's at all times. All of us doing what we can to help prevent him from getting into a rhythm. And whoever's on him, they got their hands full. But it's all five of us will have our hands full to be able to, help maintain him, but also be able to still guard our own mid.
Joe Mullinax.
Hey, Anthony, this is the biggest game that the Grizzlies have played in several years, and obviously with so many of the players being so young on the team. As one of the veterans that's been around for a while, what's your message going into a big game like this for such a young roster?
There's really no secret, right? It's just relax and have fun. It's still basketball. Yeah, it's a very important game for us. It's win or go home for sure. But for us, I think having a young team, I think the last thing we need to do is put additional pressure on anybody. It's just go have fun, go play hard, but play smart and have fun. And that's really it. And we'll just take our chances with that. Got a lot of great talent, young talent, guys that, like you said, it's a very young team for the most part. So, other than that, just keep it simple.
Tanya Ganjuli.
One thing that everybody keeps talking about here is that, they say the NBA has done a great job with this bubble, but the thing that you miss is your family and being away from your kids for that long. For you, I'm wondering, have there been things that you've missed during these past 5-6 weeks that you wish that you could have been there for?
Of course. My kids started school this week. So my oldest is in the second grade, missed his first day of school, missed my 4-year-old's first day of school, and my 3-year-old's first day of school. Actually, his first day of ever going to any school. So, it's a little rough as a parent, as a dad, to not be able to experience those things. But, I used Ja as an example the other day. He missed his daughter's, first birthday, which, that's that's a big one, right? And so everybody here is making sacrifices in their own way. If they have family, there's, I would say, maybe a little bit more of a sacrifice if you have kids and a wife or whatever it may be. But at the same time, we all came together to make sure that we kept our game alive and, we were able to, entertain people, but also come here for a good cause as well.
Joe Varden.
FaceTime, yeah, we faced. I didn't wake up that early. So for FaceTime, I was like, if I was there in person, I would wake up. But I'm like, it would actually make me a little bit more sad. I think being not there and being on FaceTime, it's tough to be a FaceTime parent. It's not nearly as fulfilling, but it is better than nothing.
So is it in-person school?
Yes. So we live in Texas, and they're going back.
Right.
So me and my wife, kind of wrestled with it, and wasn't sure exactly what we wanted to do, but we decided to, take all the precautions to, go by the guidelines, and honestly, the bubble has given me a lot of confidence that if you take the right precautions, that things can be managed. Now, of course, this bubble is much different than school bubble and stuff like that, but still, I do have a level of confidence maybe now after experiencing the NBA bubble that maybe I didn't before, that things can be maintained and hopefully kind of kept at bay.
John was talking yesterday that you guys were apparently had a pool discussion where you were kind of telling them, here's how certain things work in the NBA. Are there any stuff that you can share?
Yeah, I just try to, anytime I get a chance to go one-on-one with Jaren, Ja, Brandon, especially the young guys, DeAnthony, any of the young guys that I feel like, I can just pass the knowledge on to. I told those guys, I'm like, I'm not playing for 5 or 10 more years, right? But hopefully you guys are, and hopefully you guys can carry this team to another stratosphere. But that's going to require a whole lot of sacrifice and a whole lot of discipline. And it's going to require you guys learning the nuances of how all this works. You guys have all the physical abilities in the world, but now it becomes reason why I've been able to stick around as long as I have is not just because of physical abilities, it's because of my mental abilities, being able to play the game smart. And so I just want to, pass along any of that knowledge I can to any of the young guys, but specifically, Ja and Jaron. Those are the two I kind of tried to take under my wing and just try to give them as much information as I possibly can. I gave Ja, I actually told Ja, I said, hey, the way that Damian Lillard responds after failing is that should be your goal. And it's not necessarily you need to go score 60, but just responding. I think that's what makes Damian as great as he is he responds. When he fails, he responds. And so everybody's going to fail. And so I just told Ja, I said, that has to be in your DNA in this league. If you want to be the best guard in this league, which you have the potential to be, that has to be in your DNA, and learn how to respond and learn how to, lead your team whenever they need it.
That's really great stuff. You got to beat him twice, right? That what you're talking about? Obviously, you just talk about trying to get this first one.
Yeah, it's just one game at a time. I mean, at this point, there's no need in talking about 2 games, but we are preparing for a back-to-back. That is what we're preparing for. That's why we, went pretty light today. A lot of mental stuff today in practice. It wasn't a lot of physical because we're preparing to play 2 games in a row and play at a very high level. And I think that will help, us, do well. Having a younger team overall will definitely be an advantage of ours if we're able to, get this first one and just, push it to this back-to-back. And at that point, I believe the pressure becomes on them and not on us. So, but yeah, I mean, the first game is obviously the next game is the most important game. And that's how it's going to be until we're done.
All right. Thanks, Anthony.
Yep.
That's great. Thank you.